Greetings, and thank you for joining us for the 14th episode of DC Animation with Spenser and Friends. This is an LMG Podcast Production. Today, I am joined by a dear friend.
Hi, I'm Maurice. I'm a friend. Nice to see you, meet you, all that good stuff.
Yeah, a dear friend. I've known Maurice for many, many years.
Yeah.
Maurice, real quick, can you tell us about your DC consumption? Comic books, TV shows, movies, video games. What DC have you consumed in your time and/or are you consuming?
I try to consume as much as I can, but retaining is kind of a problem. But video games, movies, some comic books, just whatever I can get my hands on, really.
Who do you like?
I don't know that question. I don't understand. What does that mean?
What characters do you enjoy? Like, who do you like?
I thought it was like Marvel versus DC type thing.
Oh no, we don't do that here.
Good. That's what I like to hear. I don't know. Favorite, of course, Deadpool, but as a blanketed, just
Deadpool
it depends.
belongs to the other people.
I was about to say Batman too. Chill out. What you? We reign Batman over here. Come on, man. What you doing?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Just I don't know. It changes by the day.
I get that. And there are just too many of them. So
correct.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you for joining us on this journey through DC animation. Today's film is Superman versus the Elite, released June 12th, 2012, and the comic book on which this movie was based is What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, and the American Way. I will read a synopsis in my own words, and then we're just going to talk about it. So, we open to multiple news stories being watched simultaneously by a British dude who appears to want to take things into his own hands. After the opening credits, Clark and Lois watch a cheesy Superman cartoon, and Lois explains the importance of image control. Then we see Atomic Skull giving people the Shang Tsung treatment. You know, the old steal your soul. After a scrap and some relatively tame property damage, Superman is able to stop Atomic Skull with a little bit of bath time. At the UN, Superman is being questioned about why he didn't finish off Atomic Skull when suddenly some of the diplomats start arguing because there's some fighting going on between their nations. Superman leaves to take care of it, and the mysterious foreigners from earlier are able to help. Just when Superman tries to talk to them, they disappear. Lois and Superman fly to try to get a news scoop on these people from the lady who claims to know the mysterious folks. Manchester Black introduces himself, and Atomic Skull is being siphoned. Manchester introduces Superman to the rest of the squad and psychically shows Superman his backstory. Manchester intercepts an attack, and they are going to go help and handle the situation. Not that this is just a fighting people, but this is also a saving people situation. They are able to successfully save the people, and Manchester demonstrates his very effective interrogation skills. Superman begins to lecture, but they decide to call it a win and move on. Lois and Clark are discussing the events, and Manchester announces to the world that the Elite has smoke for anyone and everyone who wants it. The world seems to agree with the Elite's double tap mentality. Superman finds the Elite in Biolia, and he is taken down and helplessly watches the Elite bolster the closed casket funeral industry. Superman passes out, and the Elite give him an IV at their HQ. Then he gets a tour and begins lecturing, of course, but Manchester explains that his way is the right way, and the people seem to agree. Then he kicks Superman out the crib. Lois is trying to get information from British intelligence, but comes up with nothing. But then she gets a visit from Manchester's sister, who has a flash drive. Atomic Skull busts out of prison, and Superman is having pie with his parents. After a nice little pep talk from his dad, people are getting Thanos snapped by Atomic Skull, and the Elite show up to take care of it. Atomic Skull starts beating their ass, and then Superman shows up, and Atomic Skull starts beating his ass. They are able to come up with a plan to defeat Atomic Skull, and right when Manchester is about to kill him, Superman starts lecturing. The crowd wants Manchester to do it, and he lets Terrence call it. So Terrence's father was just killed by Atomic Skull, so Terrence says, do it. Manchester publicly executes Atomic Skull, and the people seem to be on their side. Lois gets the info she needs and tells Superman that Manchester lied about his past, and the Elite are bad people. So the Elite drop by Superman's house, and he tells them to surrender. They tell him to get the fuck out the way. So we see a city that is about to get leveled by Bialia, but Superman is able to stop that from happening. Superman plans to have the leaders of both countries talk in a neutral location, work things out, but the Elite has already killed the leaders on both sides. Superman responds by punching Manchester in the face, and with that, Superman versus the Elite is official. At daybreak, they meet, they teleport to the moon, and the fight begins. Coldcast lets off a devastating blow that finishes Superman. Oh, but wait! Superman is not dead. And this time, he isn't lecturing, he's monologuing. So first goes Pam, poison dart to the neck. Next goes Hat, wind tunnel, sucks his lungs out pretty much. So Manchester teleports back to Earth thinking that Superman won't do anything with these people around, but then Coldcast goes next. He gets his ass snatched. Then Superman shows himself. We have entered enough mode. Manchester tries to fight Superman, but he's simply too fucking much. Superman lobotomizes Manchester so he can no longer use his powers, and then just starts bitch slapping him. And Superman is about to, give the finishing blow, but Manchester starts to say, hey, Superman isn't your savior. He's just like any other rest of us. There's nothing special about him. And then Superman is like, haha, gotcha, and reveals that it was all a part of his plan to show the world that violence is not the answer. So the Elite have been handled. Superman and Lois fly off and start making out. Credits. So Maurice.
Look, man, I'm sorry. It was a really good movie. I love that movie, friend.
I love it so much.
It's so great. And all the parts you just reminded me of, it's so terrible. Sorry for making all the noise while you were doing your thing.
Good. That's what I promise you're good.
He was smacking the shit out of him.
He was a bitch slapping him.
It was so disrespectful, but that's what made it great.
It was really disrespectful.
Man.
Because that's the thing. Like, honestly, there are people who get slapped all the time, but people don't get bitch slapped very often.
No, that was a bitch slap.
Those were straight up bitch slaps. Yeah. Like back of the hand.
Sit down. What are you doing? Jesus Christ. Which I would like to correct what I said earlier with the superheroes thing. I like anti-heroes, and I love when heroes just, like you said, the done button just gets it. The switch flips. That's my favorite thing about it. That's so great. And this is the best movie for that. Oh, man. I mean, we can start from the beginning. How he laid on that bomb didn't make any kind of sense, though. I didn't like that. But it had a dope intro. It had a really dope intro with the old comic book style stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And they made him big in this. Like,
they did. Matter of fact, let's talk about that. How did you feel about the art style in this movie?
Oh, it was fine. I loved it. It was great.
Okay. I will say, compared to other movies, it's not my favorite art style.
No.
It didn't bother me necessarily. I didn't hate it, but it's absolutely not my favorite. Like, there are art styles that I like a lot better than this one. But the art style didn't like take anything away from it for me.
Yeah. But so yeah, I had to get used to it because I'm not cartoony. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, but I loved it afterwards. Which I've seen this movie before. It's just that great.
It's very good. I will go on record. This is my favorite Superman movie. Period.
I could, yeah. I'm kind of with you on that.
Yeah, like I know there are a lot of Superman movies, and there are a lot of people who would have a problem with me saying that, but this is my favorite Superman movie. Period. It's so good.
So good. It's so good. It's so funny.
It has all the things that I want, and yeah, it's hilarious.
What's his name? Atomic Skull. I was like, dang, they didn't have to do him like that, but he got payback real quick.
Yeah, because at first, whenever they were siphoning him to power the city, I was like, oh, that's true. Because he said this is inhumane.
Yeah, which I agree. That was terrible. Yeah. But I mean, what else you gonna do with that excess energy?
Yeah, and then once he got his powers back,
he
was ruining people's day.
Oh yeah, he was bodying them. It was terrible. It was terrible. But he got put down like a dog. That was
It was public execution.
Bro, that was terrible. It was so terrible. Say it, kid. All right. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. That's what we're just talking about. So, I will say it was funny to me how at the beginning it crossed Superman's mind to finish off Atomic Skull right then. Like, you saw the little fist shake.
No, I'll let it go.
Yeah, but you saw it. Like, it crossed his mind. He was like, I could do it right now.
Yeah. Look, because I do see his point. What's stopping him? The good guy. Like, the dude was like, "Oh, we're America. We're the good guys. That's not gonna stop them from killing y'all. What you doing?" Like, no, that's not how it works. Like, I can understand his point, but
we're absolutely gonna talk about that.
Yeah. Okay.
But what did you think about, before we get into more movie? What did you think about the voice cast? Or did you have an opinion about the voice cast?
No, I don't really care about it. I mean, it was fine. Everybody sounded good to my knowledge. Nothing bothered me.
Okay. I think that this movie was voiced pretty well, and I will say I really like this Superman.
Yeah.
Like, the guy who voiced Superman in this movie, if he is Superman ever, like, I'm happy with him as Superman. My Superman is the one from Justice League, like the one that hits my ear. But like, this guy,
but he felt pretty familiar. I don't know who it was though.
Yeah, but this guy, like, I'm happy with this guy. Also, the voice of Manchester, really liked him.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like, I don't think anybody did a bad job. But yeah, like, I really liked the voice cast in this movie. And for it to be a movie that I guess doesn't repeat anybody later on, or that's a standalone movie that's not belonging to like a group of movies, I thought the voice cast was really good.
Well, they said something about Brainiac already attacking Boston. I thought that was like a throwback to an older movie or something. But it's
probably in reference to the source material. And there's always stories that are happening all over the place. But this movie does not tie back to any movie that belongs in DC animated catalog.
Okay.
So,
I mean, it still makes sense too. But
yeah, like, I'm sure that there's something that it's referring to specifically. But so yeah, we see Superman, like, and that's one of the little hints that they gave, was that Superman was thinking about it and it crossed his mind, and then he ended up not doing it, and then we see a group of vigilantes who have no problem just handling things, and
calling the shots, more literal than figurative.
Oh yeah. And so in the original comic. There are a couple of differences. I think that this movie is more grounded and more set in reality than the comic book was, because in the comic book it starts with a giant gorilla and there are a lot of aliens involved, but in this movie they base it with, they include a war between neighboring countries, and I think that that's, a very down to earth and a more, I guess, a more familiar or a more realistic take on the story. And in the original version, it was the Hat who got punched as opposed to Manchester getting punched. And one change that I assume this is a change, but we don't really know. In the comic book, Manchester doesn't actually get lobotomized. Superman just gives him a concussion that throws his powers off for a little bit. But in this movie, Superman specifically says, "Nah, cut that shit out."
No, he turned them off.
And
his girl, dude, godly.
All of your friends are being depowered as well. So, yeah, we're not gonna have this conversation a second time.
In a way, he did kill him.
Yeah, man. Pretty much. So, yeah, there are just so many things about this movie that I really like. So one question I will ask you: did you agree with the Elite?
To an extent. That's what I'm saying. To an extent, I do understand their point. That's why I like anti-heroes more, because they can do what needs to be done at times. But at the same time, like I said, what's stopping them from turning? Just oh, y'all are doing more evil than they're doing, so I might as well kill y'all that are the quote unquote good guys. So to an extent, yes, I do agree, but not fully.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm kind of in that same boat. I get it, and I may be a terrible person, but some people got to die.
Yeah.
That's just there are some people now you need to finish them, because they're going to there's no rehabilitation. Mm-hmm. There's no reasoning with this person. That no, they are
like
going
Atomic
to
Skull.
They're
He's
going
just going
to
get
continue,
out and just kill people more.
Yeah, they're going to continue to be a problem.
Yeah.
And that's what the boy said. The boy was like, "Superman, this is your fault. If you would have finished him the first time, my dad would still be alive, and so would all of these other people that had to die today. So, Manchester, take care of it."
That kid bothered me so much, because no, it's your fault. Your dad is dead. Why did you run into all of that you knew was happening? You killed him. No, you killed him.
I said the same thing. I said, yeah, Dad told you not to go.
And yet kids gonna be kids, though, I guess.
Yeah, and he was definitely a product of the time, because you know how there was a time period where every black kid had a box haircut.
Yeah, yeah.
Every black kid had the Moesha Daddy haircut.
Yeah.
This comic book is from 2001, so
right
in that time. He was. I'm imagining he was pulled straight out of the comic book, and if he wasn't, he's from the time period. But
I didn't know that was him in the suit towards the end either. I thought that was another black dude, or his. I was confused, because it looked like his dad. Why are you in a suit? Aren't you dead? Wait, is that supposed to be the kid? What is going on? I'm confused. All that just didn't make no kind of sense.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I agree. It that was the kid's fault. No, you shouldn't have had your ass out there.
Yeah, that bothered me. Then I don't like how they kept glazing past the Elite just massacring all these civilians. Just no, we just killed the bad guy. And 500 other people that was just kind of sitting on the street. There was a woman in her walker. You killed a lot of people with that blast, Cold Cast. What's going on?
Because that's the thing. Whenever he did the blast that knocked Superman out, they were like, "Oh, Superman, I'm surprised you stayed conscious." Everybody else dead.
they had blood just streaming down. It's like, oh, that's okay to y'all? Like what? Okay, sure, whatever, I guess.
The greater good, bigger cause, all that nonsense.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
There were a couple of quotes in the movie that really hit me. That I thought were like, ooh. So one of them was, what happens when they turn their attention toward you? I'm an American. Yeah. We're the good guys.
That's it. So that's why I said earlier. That's exactly why.
You did.
That stayed in my mind. That's exactly why.
Yeah, we're American. Talk about that.
We're the good guys. Yeah. Like what? And okay, man.
I was like, that's not. There are a couple of problems with that. First of all,
yep.
Let's go with the problem that could affect any situation. Who the good guys are is determined by how they feel, not how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
So if they decide you're not the good guys anymore, then they will come after you.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, and I would say a little more relevant to us, America being the good guys, that's not a thing, man. Yeah, that's a touchy subject in certain situations, because a lot of shit that America did. There are a lot of people that don't
America,
and that's the thing. We tell people we're the good guys, but for the people that actually like experienced some things at the hands of these United States, may have a different opinion. Because I know that I have some ancestors and other people have some forefathers, and we may not agree on America's greatness.
That's an understatement.
Another one that stayed with me was, you can't murder people and call yourselves heroes. Superman said that, and then Manchester said, why not? Your government does it all the time.
Yeah.
And then Superman didn't have shit to say. There was silence.
Which I know he abides by the laws and stuff, but why isn't the government, why are they blaming him when they can just execute the criminals? I mean, they killed a lot of people, so why don't they just? Okay, yeah, no, you're right. All right.
No. You have a point, and I'm guessing that the government is trying to agree with Superman, and this might, because in the comic book, the president is Lex Luthor in this story.
Oh, okay. Where was he in all this? Matter of fact, I didn't even think about that. I'm sorry. Continue.
I mean, I guess they didn't want to bring him in because he would have, tried to siphon off too much attention.
Well, you know what? The elite is right. Get Superman out of here. Calm down, Lex. Hey, why you being like that?
But if the government feels the same way that the elite does, then the government should just take care of it. But I mean, it's safe to assume that either they don't, or they are not killing people, because then Superman would turn against them, or Superman would no longer work in their interest. So my assumption is, if Superman was capturing people and then the government said, all right, we're going to execute these people, Superman would then say, I can't work for you anymore. And so I think as far as checks and balances go, that's why the government is like, okay, fine.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Okay, yeah. Yeah, because I was like, why don't they just handle it? But
if they have a problem with it, but I mean, I guess the government was like, no, we can use Atomic Skull. He got some stuff.
Yeah, execution. No, I'm gonna put you worse. We're just gonna drain you.
That's what prison is. Prison is slavery in a lot of cases, and they figure like, you have done something wrong, or we have decided you've done something wrong, so we're going to incarcerate you and use you for free labor, or free, in this case, energy, or whatever. So, yeah, no, this was about right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah.
I just thought it was really good that, when he said your government does it all the time, Superman ain't shit to say.
Yep. I mean,
like, you have to let that ride.
Yeah. What can he say? No, they don't. They do. Come on, man.
Please respond, Superman. Yeah. Please do.
Oh, man.
So, the reason this is one of my favorite movies is because of the enough mode. Superman does it, not necessarily all the time, but there are a lot of times when Superman will go into enough mode, but this is the best version of it. Yeah. There's a previous movie entry that we talk about. In episode 6, we talk about Superman, Batman, Public Enemy. And in that movie, whenever Superman thinks that Batman died, Superman goes into a brief,
you killed my friend.
Yeah, like he was my best friend.
Yep.
And
Yep.
And so we've seen enough mode from Superman before, but like this is the best version of it.
Yeah.
This is the movie where I named it. This is, oh my God. Like, seeing, the first time I watched this movie, I was like, I don't know what I just watched, but I need to watch it again.
Right. You talking about quotes? Oh, he's in orbit. At Mach, I thought he said Mach 10 for the longest, but yeah,
Mach 7 is still
terrible. It's still so terrible. It's like, okay, he's gone. Oh, that's like, cool. I guess.
Where did he go?
Yeah.
Where did he freaking go? Orbit at Mach 7, and then lands. And if you had super hearing,
man, you could
hear the pop.
Like, Soups, what happened?
When he said it, I gasped.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, this is so good.
It was so good,
man. And then that is what I was waiting for the whole movie.
Yeah, there were points when he sounded so menacing, and then there were points when he just sounded so nonchalant.
He started monologuing. I was like, I guess he did. I guess he did. He just turned villain mode on. That's pretty great.
Yep. Like, that's the thing. Like, usually Superman is lecturing, but when he started, I finally did it.
The calm voice. Yeah, that was. Oh my God. What'd you say? Menacing. Yes.
Yeah, because that's like one of the calm things that he said that like shook me a little bit. He was like, "They won't be killing anyone anymore."
Yep.
It's like,
oh man.
Ooh, I felt that.
Oh no. Oh man. Oh, I like having this movie fresh on my mind. It's just so
good.
Man.
I love it. And that's what I said in the previous episodes. It's like, this is the point where it starts getting real good.
Yeah.
Just hitter after hitter. And oh God, I love this movie so much.
Let's say there's one more. The one with the table that the lady gets lasered through? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, that's that. We got a lot of time before we get there.
I'll listen to it later. It's okay.
Yeah, we got a lot of time before we get to that movie, but that one is also very good.
Good.
Oh, yeah, that'll be fun. But anyway, what I feel like this movie does, as far as storytelling, this is a true Superman story in that we get to see because I have said one of Superman's superpowers is goodness. Yeah. Like, we have seen many analogs for Superman that, aren't Superman. Like, they do bad shit, or they're not good people. I mean, we see it with Homelander, we see it with Omni-Man, we see it with Hyperion. We see it with the Sentry. Like, there are a lot of Superman analogs who either are just bad or they are just not at that level of good, because we are under the impression that Superman is good simply because he was raised in Kansas by some nice people who taught him to be good. But it's like, even the best people have moments. And there are stories where Superman, does some crazy shit. But I think that this is a true Superman story in that we see the world kind of turning against him. We see the world saying your ways are antiquated and we can't do that. Like, that's not feasible. That's not the world we live in anymore. Things are a lot more complicated. We are in a place now where that's good in theory, but in execution, we are like, good people are dying because bad people aren't, is basically what they're saying. And Superman, holds on to his convictions and says, no, killing people is wrong. And as the good people, we should not be doing that. And he then says, all right, if y'all don't want to hear me say it, I will show it to you. And Superman basically, like, it was a flex a little bit.
Yeah.
It was a flex in a lot of ways. It was a flex to show
a little bit. It was a lot.
It was a flex to show, just in case anyone has questions, I could tear this whole shit down. So, in case you were wondering if I was capable, please understand.
The answer is always yes.
Yeah. The answer is C.
Oh, man.
And it was a flex in that, I was right. You MFs.
Yeah.
While y'all out here trying
how you want to do it.
While y'all out here trying to be Manchester, no, I was right the whole time. All along, y'all should have been listening to me. But no, don't nobody want to listen to me. And, he did it gracefully. But yeah, he was like, no, it scared me too when I saw what I could do. He was like, yeah, like, killing people is easy. First of all, I don't think that's true, but I don't know. I've never done it, but I would assume, or it might be a situation like once you get your first one.
I'm about to say it's probably because he has so much power. It'd be so easy to just take it, but he got more restraint, which makes sense.
Yes, and that's, again, I think that goodness is one of Superman's powers, because there's not necessarily anything that happened to him that has him feeling this way. Because with Batman, for example, like, his parents were killed, and that's that's what led him to this. But Superman doesn't have like an event necessarily that makes him this way. He was just raised by good people. Yeah. And
I got a question about that. Before we get off that, where the fuck was Batman? Wasn't this globally?
They said in this movie, Lois said, I think they can beat you. You need help. Call some goddamn body. And Superman said, nope, they took the fight to me. It's got to be me.
Oh, when they were, okay.
Yeah, they addressed that, because the first time I watched it, I wondered that same thing. I was like, you have friends. What are you doing?
Like, what are you doing?
Like, if you're worried about losing, like, there are a lot of phone calls you could make.
Yep.
Matter of fact, you probably should have had Batman doing the investigation instead of Lois. You would have got answers sooner. But not going to get into that.
So she got connections. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah,
she figured it out. Yeah. But she wasn't about to. Like, if Manchester's sister hadn't decided to give her the information, then they wouldn't have got anywhere, because she went to British intelligence, and she said, I tried to print the story and British intelligence shut it down. Like, it did not make it off the printer.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, no, Batman would have made things happen. Batman would have said,
give me 5 minutes. Just don't worry about it.
I'll just buy the paper. And
that's true too.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to go in there torturing, asking all them questions, but I guess he could just throw money at it, and it works too.
Or he could do some interrogation.
Yeah.
Because he's an effective interrogator.
He's that man. He's that bad man.
Anyway, yeah, that's why, because Lois brings that up, and Superman is like, I no, they didn't take this to anybody else, so I have to handle it. And luckily, Superman had robots and shit because
when did he get those?
There are a lot of times he has robots. Like there are in a previous movie, Superman or All-Star Superman, he has the robots. So usually anytime he has the Fortress of Solitude, he will have the robot
I did
squad.
not know that. I've never seen it. Maybe I have. Maybe I don't know. Not that I remember. Yeah. I saw him. I was like, when did he get an army? What the fuck? And they can all fly too.
Like usually, as far as the media that we see either see Superman with a group of other superheroes, so the robots don't need to be there, or we see an early Superman who hasn't got there yet.
Who just gets into the Fortress of Solitude or something like that.
Yeah, and so I think that's why. But yeah, like there are a few movies where the robots are absolutely there. So they are a part of Superman's whole thing.
Yeah,
but yeah, yeah, it's a good thing they were there. And there are a couple of the tricks that he did that I don't quite understand. Like, I don't understand how he made Menagerie look dead. Like, he shot her with the dart, and he pretty much poisoned her. So all of her creatures left her body, and then her heart stopped. They were like,
what
she's
the fuck
not
is in
breathing.
That? Yeah, what? It's like, no, she's dead. She's dead.
Yeah,
dead.
She's dead.
Yeah.
And then whenever with Hat, I guess it makes sense because you'll pass out before you die.
Before your brain shuts off or whatever.
So yeah, like I guess he, passed out, that's fine. But and the whole Mach 7, I'm assuming that's not where he went.
I'm assuming he just knocked him out of me. But that dude absorbs energy, right?
Yes.
Wouldn't that include?
He doesn't. I assume he does not absorb kinetic energy. And he had just output everything he had to try to kill Superman.
That's true. Yeah.
So he was running on E. And so Superman snatched his ass up without any issues.
He said, "Call the wheat from the chaff." Like, he's gone.
That's exactly, Like,
man.
Because that's the thing. You just see the... It's like, he's gone. And then...
Got taken.
Where did he freaking go? Orbit.
Mach 7.
Yeah, he said it so calmly. I was like, oh no!
My God. Oh, Jesus Christ.
When he said at Mach 7, I was like, good God Almighty, that killed him.
Oh, before we get off the subject of people just going bye-bye, the soldiers, when they did the nuke, that dude turned into a twisty... They like twisted that boy's limbs. Yeah. I was like, oh my God. That boy was just crying on the ground and he just stopped. I was like, oh my Jesus Christ. And then the dude just got snatched by ghosts. I was like, oh y'all, I feel sorry. I would have ran. Fuck that shit.
When Superman, the time when Superman had to just watch that happen, I was like, oh no!
You said he ain't never been through stuff like. I was like, he watched that dude turn into a Twizzler. I mean, that's pretty terrible. I don't know. Man, it was those. I feel so bad for those dudes, and the rest of them just got eaten. Like, oh man, y'all went against the wrong ones.
Yeah. This is terrible, but you know how whenever Manchester killed Atomic Skull. And then they disappeared. Superman put his cape over Atomic Skull. I was like, what are you doing?
Oh, I didn't even see that. Oh, with his little skull bits. Yeah, that's terrible.
That was really funny to me.
It was so terrible.
Because I was like, Superman, what are you covering up? There's nothing there.
It's the skull bits.
Okay.
It's dignity. All right.
Okay. Because it was just a headless armor at that point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the head was there. It was just there,
scattered.
There and a little bit over there. They're terrible.
Oh man. That's not funny, but that's funny.
No, it's not. It's super not. Jesus. And I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the thing. I kind of wonder. I wonder why. Well, I don't wonder. I guess killing all the diplomats was the thing that sent Superman over the edge. And when
those were a lot of innocents too, which they're not fully innocent, but Like that, you killing a lot of people, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like the whole room of people.
Yeah,
because he didn't say like the presidents didn't know. He said whole cabinets dead.
Yep. Restarting. Okay.
And that's what I think. Superman was pissed because he was like, see, we were able to solve this without bloodshed. Nobody had to die. Nobody got hurt. Everybody's fine. And then Manchester was like, no.
I don't know.
I don't know about that.
There was a couple people that died.
Yeah.
All right.
And I don't know if this is what happened, but I feel like Manchester was a little bit trifling. Whenever he walked out of the crowd, he was like, great job. What's next?
Yeah.
And then Superman was like, we're going to get them together in a neutral location. We're going to talk it out. We're going to hold hands. In Manchester, knowing that that's what he was going to say, is like,
about that. Damn.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a wrinkle in that plan. Here's the thing.
So he
don't be
those
mad.
Bitch slaps at the end. I think he was kind of trifling.
He was, and it's so funny that he went from being a huge fan of Superman to being like, "No, fuck that guy."
Yeah,
in a
real quick.
Yeah, very quickly. I think he may have just been like, "No, don't lecture me, buddy."
Yeah, pal. Lecture me.
Yeah, you gonna lecture me about what's right? Because that's the thing. Manchester was spitting facts a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially whenever he and Superman would actually like argue, because it's so funny. There are a lot of times Superman will start lecturing and then the other person will retort and Superman will not have shit to say. We saw that in the second episode. We have Justice League: The New Frontier, and Superman starts lecturing Wonder Woman because Wonder Woman.
Oh, the women.
Yeah, and Wonder Woman was like, "No, I did what I thought was right, and if you have a problem with it, goodbye." And there was nothing to say. So
yeah,
it's so funny that Superman, at the end of the day is usually like right or whatever, but on the mic he'd be getting shut down a lot of times. Like on the mic, people are like, no, here's why, or here's the thing, and then he doesn't have anything. He has no response.
Well, whatever. Oh man.
And so but I mean, unfortunately, like at the end of the day, because in this movie, Superman proved his point. And that's one of the things I love about this movie is that Superman said, okay, if you don't want to hear me, I'll have to show it to you. And boy, did he, because the first time I saw this movie, I didn't know that it was a ruse.
Yeah. That's the best part about it. When I first saw it, I was like,
that's the best part about it.
Why'd they do this to him? Now look, now they dead. What? Y'all fucked up. Like,
and that's the thing. I hope nobody is listening to this without having watched the movie, because if you
100% recommend that,
like, please watch. It's so good.
So good.
Yeah. Oh, if you watch this movie and you don't know the deal, because it got me. I was like, oh, they've turned him into a villain. Man. He's about to have 4 bodies.
Yeah. I felt also so bad for Manchester. I was like, oh, you about to get the roughest part of this. Man. I feel so bad for you.
Yeah. Like, I know this PG-13, but but I will say, like, seeing that dude get twisted up, like, I forgot about that. But yeah, like, when I saw it, I responded the same way as I did the first time. So I was like,
immediately. I was like, oh my God, Jesus. It's like, well, hold on, let me rewind a little bit. It's like, oh God, dang.
Yikes. That dude.
That was terrible.
And that's the thing, like, just that guy.
Yeah. That's wow.
Did Manchester
do that?
Yeah.
Why?
He's the only one who could have.
That's so unnecessary.
Correct.
Didn't even think about that.
Yeah, like it's like sucks to be him.
Yeah, in particular, fuck that guy.
Like, that's the thing.
Why?
Yeah, all 4 of his limbs
Bruh, the what's his name? Coldcast.
Mhm.
Really didn't I didn't understand what his powers were at first, but that's his powers are really useful to the extent of I feel like he could have won because that blast didn't it, knock Superman out there and not deactivate his power, but
It
kind
knocked
of
him unconscious, I guess.
yeah. Why couldn't he do that again? Why?
That's actually a really good question. So if Coldcast put out a pulse that pretty much works as an EMP for the brain, the way that Manchester explained it, and it was able to knock Superman, it was able to make him useless.
Yeah.
Then I don't understand why Coldcast didn't open with that during their fight.
Yeah. I don't get it.
And also, if that blast was less powerful than the one that he hit Superman with to try to finish him, then how do we get here? Because it would be safe to assume that the EMP that he put off and what he hit Superman with on the moon were, or the EMP was, or no, I would assume the EMP was less powerful than what he hit Superman with, because he emptied the tank to do what he did on the moon, but the EMP, he still was able to fight.
Still fighting afterwards. Yeah. What the fuck?
So
maybe they pre-charged him with like some energy or something. I don't know. That don't make sense though. Like
no, but that's a really good point. I think that they just kind of missed that. I think that, yeah, I think that was a flaw in the movie.
Between the
because
between the scenes.
Yeah, like that one didn't occur to me, but that's absolutely I just love this movie so much I missed it. See, that's why I needed you.
Enjoying it. It's fine. We still enjoy that.
No, that's why we're here. We gotta point that out.
True.
So no, I'm glad you're here, because that's one of the things that I absolutely should have noticed.
Oh, so no, that ain't nothing, bro.
We
were too busy enjoying the Twizzlers and the and the headshots. Man,
it's so good.
That's why it leaves a mark. It's just so terrible, but it's so good.
Yeah. And Menagerie was trying to have Superman.
Yeah, man, she was Devorah lookalike. She was just throwing her, which that go ball out.
Yeah,
you
do you?
Yeah, do you? But God dang, every second though.
Every line.
Yeah,
she was trying to have him, and whenever she just kissed him on TV, Lois was like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah. He was like, "Well, Pam that was the wrong thing to say." So
it was the wrong thing to say. Oh, she's fucking Pam now.
Yeah. Who is Pam? What is that? Oh no, Superman! No.
I was like, oh no, this isn't good.
Mr. Superman though here. Oh. Oh God.
Yeah, it that was funny to me. But yeah,
man, their interrogations were terrible. Her little worm in the ear. I was like, oh no, that made me
very uncomfortable.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
because that might be a fear of mine.
Yeah,
is something going, because whenever a fly flies by my ear, I hate it.
Yep. You start flailing. Get the fuck.
If anybody's near me, then they're getting hit. It's not on purpose. I didn't mean it wasn't for you, but that fly, I don't
You're in the danger zone, man. No. Yeah. You gotta understand. So I get irrationally angry whenever they get too close to me. Like, man, what are you doing? We could have been living in peace. Back up. Dang.
Yeah, you have chosen death.
Yeah, you chose this life. All right, now I'll end it.
Yeah, now you're getting targeted because you're too close, man.
Because you want to be stupid.
Yeah.
Good job, Manchester. God, Jesus.
But yeah, the things in the ears, this is why I am not in any kind of special force, because I'm not it wouldn't take very much torturing for me to be like, all right, here are the answers. Here's what you need.
Yeah.
Because if I see that thing crawling up my shoulder, What do you want? What do you want to know?
I mean, we're pretty tough, but I ain't that tough.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why
man.
I'm not built for that.
Yeah.
I'm not built to be in a situation where I would need to be interrogated.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not built for torture. Well, I don't think any of us are, but I mean,
Some people take it better than others or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, yeah, no, I don't. No, what do you want to know?
Those poor dudes. And then the dude that got, the two dudes that got mind melted right before that, Manchester. Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, whenever Superman was like, "You're killing them." Like,
yeah. Like, yeah, man, let me finish.
All they had to do was talk.
True.
Not feeling chatty.
The second dude, I don't know what they were doing. They saw what happened. They got pulled into the ship with the people who kill people, and they were just like, "No, I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to talk." If I would have saw that worm come out and go into that dude's ear, I'm like, "All right, stop. No, time out. No, fuck all that. I got you. I'll tell you exactly what you need to know. Just let me out of this bitch."
Please. I just want to go home.
I got a family. Please. I just want to sleep.
But that's the thing. Like, I don't have that level of undying loyalty to my country.
True.
So yeah, we're not doing that.
Bilal or wherever they were.
Beolia.
There you go. That one. That's the word.
Yeah, and I think the other one was Bakulistan. I mean, they're both made up countries. Like,
true, but I still wasn't getting them.
Yeah, but that's fine. Anyway, I think that this movie had some. I mean, I think that because we were dealing with such superpowered people, we had action scenes, but there wasn't really any hand to hand in this movie.
There was just. Well, who was his name? Atomic Skull beating on Cold Cass, and then Cold Cass beating on Superman. That was it.
Yeah, that was about it as far as hand to hand. The Superman bitch slapping.
Oh yeah, it's hard to call that hand to hand though.
Yeah, it was hand to face.
Yeah,
hand to mouth, because
that was terrible.
It was really bad. But I didn't know I needed to see Superman bitch slap somebody.
Oh, I did. I needed that.
I did need it. I just didn't know I needed it.
Yeah. You're right. My bad.
Oh, but it was so good.
Absolutely.
Now, and one thing that I do wonder, about Superman's, I guess, mental blocks. I wonder how consistent that is, because I feel like there have been times when his mind has been able to be penetrated, but it sounded like it's not something that Superman actively does. He just has psychic blockers in there.
Which is weird because he's very weak to like magic, and I thought he was weak to psychic attacks, but I guess not in this one.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder how consistent that is. Because it's not necessarily that he's weak to magic, it's that he just has no defense against it. So like magic does to him what it does to anybody else because it's fucking magic.
Yeah. Okay.
And so he just doesn't have a resistance, I guess, rather than having a weakness, quote unquote, because like he has a weakness to kryptonite. But magic, he's just like, it just happens.
Shit just happens.
So yeah, like the hat was like the real problem.
He could have been a bigger problem, but he was.
But I guess he can
why he didn't use the magic demons or whatever or something else. He was using like the earth pillars and like, no, throw magic at him. Don't throw rocks at him. What are you doing? Like,
or if you're gonna pick a rock, pick the green one.
Yeah,
because
I don't understand.
Like, it looked like he could summon whatever he wanted. Because at first I thought he could only summon living things, but then he summoned like the little net.
Yeah,
as a little
being an asshole.
Yeah, just being a dick.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing. Thanks.
You're being facetious. Okay, ha ha ha. You're real funny guy.
Man, you think you're a funny guy? I'm gonna have something for you later.
Oh man, I wish he bitch slapped all of them. That would have been just fantastic. He could have manhandled all of them.
Oh,
but he went out of his way too.
He had to put on a show.
Yeah, he in a show he put on. God damn.
Indeed.
Oh man.
But yeah, I think that again, a part of the reason this is my favorite movie is because, again, of what we get. We get enough mode from Superman. We get a villain who's like, I don't all the way disagree with, who's like,
yeah.
who I'm like,
Yeah. What's
I
his name? Black Panther.
see Killmonger.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, like you are stopping terrorism, because in the on the news story, they were like, yeah, he killed all the leaders, but the war's over and there's peace between the two nations.
Oh, I did not hear that one.
Yeah, it was while Superman and Lois were, talking at that last night on the news. It was like, the leaders are effectively dead, but the war's over and there's peace between the countries. So,
So I guess you're wrong, Superman. It's like, well, yeah. I didn't hear that when they was on the couch.
Yeah,
I was just paying attention to what they were saying. Oh wow.
So yeah, there's but again, the action pieces and the characters and actually the voice work are a part of the reason this is my favorite Superman movie, but also the moral of the story and I think, excellent characterization of Superman in this movie, because this is who Superman is. Like, this is what we are supposed to be getting from Superman, with the whole truth, justice, in the American way, and the, very specific not killing for these reasons, and how easy it would be, and the results that can come from stepping into that. And I feel like, along with being a good movie and a good story, it's a good Superman story as well. And I'm not the biggest fan of Superman. I don't have a problem with him, but he's not my guy.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm the same. I'm the exact same.
I will say, in this movie, I was like, I fucks with you, Clark. Okay.
This was the first movie that because I've never, like you said, I've never really cared about him. But this is the one I was like, all right, I kind of like you. You're all right. You're all right, buddy. Yeah. You can pull that stuff. I'm good.
The first time I remember saying I fucks with you was in the Justice League animated series, whenever he was fighting Darkseid, because he said in there, he was like, I normally have to treat this world like paper mache. I have to hold everything back. I have to not touch anything with too much aggression. But with you, I can let loose a little bit. I can let them fly like I want to. True. And so you gonna take these motherfucking hands. I'm paraphrasing. I don't think that's what he said.
But essentially, that's what he meant.
That's what I said. And that was the first time I was like, okay, all right. I think I okay.
You got some good. All right.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the movie where I was like, if I wasn't a fan, he's got me. Like, he has my attention.
If I wasn't then, I am now.
Yeah, because we've already discussed other movies that have Superman in them, but this movie, and I saw this movie before I saw Man of Steel, and I have spoken on the record. I love Man of Steel. It's my favorite live action Superman movie, but at least to date, they're working on a new one. We're gonna see what happens. But this one, it's my favorite Superman movie because it's so good.
Oh, it probably would have been a little better with Zod too, but that's okay. There's next time.
Zod would have been a little too much. Like,
Nonsense. Everybody would have been dying, and it would have been great.
I don't know how you put Zod into this story.
Yeah, it's true.
And now there are stories with Zod, and I'm sure that they could use Zod to make a better Superman movie. I will say, like, for me personally, like, it's going to be a tall order to do a movie better than this one.
Yeah.
I know that for a lot of Superman fans and a lot of fans of movies and animation and all of that, like this is not at the top of anyone's list, but let me tell you,
and let's say it's up there for me.
it's absolutely up there for me. Like, oh, it's so good. So speaking of that, Maurice, scale of 1 to 10.
Oh, I was about to say 10, but I'll just do a solid 9 for now.
Okay, same. A solid 9.
Yeah.
Again, there are movies that are better than this one, but I love it.
But this is still up there for me.
I really
this is one of the ones that I can like quote. Because I don't remember movies very well, but I got this one. Like this one stands out.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like again, when Superman started monologuing, a lot of that, like,
That's why I say the orbit, and for the longest I thought it said Mach 10, but I was close. It was close enough. Mach 7 is.
I mean, I don't know that it makes a difference at that level of Mach.
Oh, probably not. But
it's like
it's not either way.
Yeah, like if you have flesh, like once you break the sound barrier, I don't know if it matters.
It's all paste at that point, right?
Yeah. This man's if you had super hearing. That was just unnecessary. Like,
it was.
Why are you doing that?
Like you said, he's just trying to get his point across.
He was
and he did
enough. Yeah, he was in enough mode.
Oh, absolutely.
And I love an enough mode Superman.
Oh yeah.
Because when he goes into enough mode, he is too much.
Yep.
And it honestly demonstrates the amount of restraint and mercy that he shows on a regular basis. Because Superman, we know Superman's OP. Like he was written to be OP.
Yeah.
But the fact that Superman ever loses and then like he just uses anger to say, all right, I'm done losing.
Yeah.
Like, enough of that.
I'm done with this. Yeah, I'm fed up. Let's listen to this.
Because I think that's how enough mode works in real life. Like, for example, with you specifically, if you're playing a fighting game and you're not being your best character and somebody's talking that shit, you're okay.
Yeah, but all right, yeah, keep that same energy.
Yeah,
give me a second.
Hold that.
Hold that.
It's like that. It's like when you're leaning back, but then when you lean forward,
the gamer lean.
Yep, the gamer lean.
Yeah. Oh man.
And then you just start embarrassing somebody. It's like, well, you was talking all like good shit a second ago.
We all at? Oh fuck.
It's so quiet in here all of a sudden.
Man.
And, yeah.
That makes me like him in this. That makes me love him in this.
Yeah.
It only would have been better if he had just actually just killed him. Just like, oh, he's done. It would have been terrible. But yeah, I would have loved it even more.
I don't know if I would have. And only because I would have loved it like personally, but as far as storytelling and this being Superman specifically, like it would have taken away from Superman's character, I think. I think that's why so many people have a problem with Man of Steel, because he kills Zod in Man of Steel.
Yeah.
And people are like, that's not what Superman does.
That's not what he is.
Yeah. And so the fact that he did that, I like that immediately turned people away from it. People that are fans of Superman for everything that Superman is and stands for and all that. Yeah. I will say I don't need that for my Superman. I'm fine with my Superman catching a couple bodies here and there.
Yeah.
I think it's a necessary part of this line of work. But some people don't. And because I know that the Snyder version of these people, some people got to die. Like that warehouse scene in Dawn of Justice, Batman was killing people.
Yep.
And there is no question about it.
Batman never kills anybody. He does all the time. But okay.
Doesn't he?
He cripples them people for life too.
Yeah, like he'll say he doesn't. There are some Batmans that kill people.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll say that. And there are some Batmans that, like you will be in a cast for the rest of your days.
Your life is over.
Yeah.
You're pretty much dead.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry.
Like that whole worse than death. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, Batman. That's why they're so afraid of him. Whenever he comes out the darkness, he's like, no, not like Cousin Ricky. Oh,
yeah, because I have a friend who doesn't have collarbones anymore.
It's because of you.
Yeah, like they're not broken; they're gone.
They're gone.
I can't wear jackets anymore because of him.
I thought you were about to say I can't wear shorts anymore. I was like, oh God, what goddamn, what'd you do? Jesus Christ.
Oh goodness. Yeah, anything else on this movie?
Hold on, let me go into the notes. Yeah, why they kept just sitting back and watching everything that happened.
The Elite?
Everybody, Superman and Lois at the beginning, they just sat there and watched Atomic kill some people, dusting, because he that's another thing. He was just dusting everybody. I was like, God damn, you're awful, but God damn. But yeah, they were just watching him. I don't understand.
I thought that as soon as they knew what was happening, because there was somebody who was like melting, and then Superman like caught him and was like, no, please don't die.
Yeah.
And then he died. And then Superman, I guess, suited up as fast as he could to.
Yeah. He suited up, came down next to Lois, and then they looked at Atomic, and then he started dusting other people. And then it switched back to Superman. He was like, oh, I got to go. It's like, what are y'all doing? You should have been doing that already.
I guess the only thing is, like, he had to make sure Lois was good. Maybe. I don't know.
I guess people are dying, Superman.
People are dying. You need to take care of it. That's what we're here to do. So come on. Get with it.
It's so terrible. Oh, yeah. And Cold Cash just sucking them dry I laughed pretty hard at that too. just terrible. Just all of it.
And I'm guessing that Cold Cast still had that power whenever he put it on Superman. And the size of
reinforce the point. Why wouldn't that? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but the size of that blast was massive.
True.
And another thing that I wonder, it looked like Manchester just put up a barrier. And if his barrier was strong enough to handle that, then Superman did eventually get through it. But okay. I guess, whenever Superman said they won't be killing anyone anymore. And then he did put up a barrier that Superman was punching. He was like, how does it feel?
Yeah, I feel like that was, he was holding it. He had to been. Because when he put up a barrier that first time, he punched right through it immediately. Yeah. And that might have been because of surprise, but man.
He wasn't ready. But when Superman, how does it feel to have your dreams die?
It's just awful. It's like, I would have been so afraid.
Yes, that would, because that's the thing. Hat was like, I'm getting a tight sphincter here.
Yeah. He's like, oh, shut up, Hat. I'm like, no, Hat's right.
No, Hat's right. We should be listening to Hat.
Yeah, absolutely. He may be a drunk, but he's a smart drunk. You better listen to that.
He knows what he's talking about with this one. I will say, I don't know how Superman planned for him to go into the wind tunnel.
Yeah. But okay. I don't know. I don't even know what he was trying to do. He just came up like, I'll show you some magic. It's like, Hat, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, why'd you have to go up there? And like, I didn't.
Yeah. That's all right. Plot holes.
That's fine. I let him have that one. So I was like, you know what? Okay. Maybe Hat got cocky.
He did look like he got, because he
was like, everybody knows Superman can't do anything about magic, so I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
and then he started monologuing, and talking in a wind tunnel is a terrible idea.
Yep. He promptly got stopped.
Yeah. And Manchester knew exactly what was going on the whole time. Like, or not the whole time, but Manchester figured it out pretty immediately. I mean, another thing that I wonder is, how did Superman conceal himself? Because
the smell and sound. I don't know.
Because I don't know how much range Manchester has, but I feel like if Superman was talking and everybody could hear it, then Manchester should have been within range to catch him.
Yeah. I
And
thought you meant because of Sonar Lady, Devore
well,
Jr.
but also that, like, he also had to be far enough where she couldn't hear him. The smell I get.
Yeah, the burnt and
Yeah. The scorched earth or whatever. Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like, that's going to cover it up. But yeah, the fact that Manchester couldn't find him and she couldn't hear him.
Yeah, in space where it's dead silent.
Yeah, like he's
weird.
the only sound that should be happening. Now, I guess he could have been far enough away because he does have the super scream voice thing, because he used that on Atomic Skull early in the movie when he said, let go, and then all the windows shattered.
I don't like how he did that, but emergency, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that added to because honestly, as much collateral damage as we have seen from Superman, it was pretty tame in this movie.
Yeah. They were crying about it, but nah.
Yeah, at the UN, they were like millions of dollars of property damage. And I was like, yeah, technically you're right, but he didn't take down any buildings.
Yeah. Like, I don't care about that.
Like, normally, Superman is taking down entire blocks worth of. Like, this was very tame property damage compared to a usual Superman situation, which, whenever they got back down to Earth, and he and Manchester were fighting, yeah, that was a pretty good amount of property damage.
Yeah.
Because there were cars involved in that one.
Yeah, just the dust storm that just pulled everything up. Yeah, because that couldn't have been rubble from the buildings. It had to have been from the ground that he fucking flipped over or whatever. That he carved down the street. It's like, what the fuck? That was a lot. Where the people were hiding behind. Yeah, I don't understand it. But it's whatever.
Yeah. So, whatever. These are small things that I was able to get past.
Yeah, easily.
So, any other notes?
I liked, like, immediately after Twizzler happened, the soldiers started freaking out. It was just like, oh my God. And then just started shooting up in the air, just like, just shoot, you'll find her somewhere. So, that was great. That whole situation was just cracking me up, man.
I mean, when people panic, I think that's what people with guns do when they panic. They just start pulling the trigger.
If I see my homie get
Twizzlered
up, bro. Yeah, I'd be freaking out. Like, oh my God, I'll hit something.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I would say before that happens to me, somebody catching these bullets.
I'm shooting somebody. I don't
somebody.
care.
Yeah, like I may accidentally hit him, but I can't be looking like homie.
looking like Steve.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Steve got fucked up.
Oh man. Yeah, I guess that's it for my notes. I'm good.
Okay.
You got anything you need?
No, I think I just kind of sprinkled my notes into the discussion. So,
yeah. Okay.
But I thought it was good. Okay. So I think that I know I've said it already, but I think it's a good movie.
It's a great movie. Yes.
It's just really good.
Yeah.
But anyway, in the next episode, we will be discussing Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. So until then, salutations.